Hi there. How are you doing? Welcome to today's Tuesday Takeaway. It is wonderful to be joining you for another Tuesday Takeaway. It's always a pleasure, never a chore. I'm going to turn that off because it's going to really annoy us all the way through this broadcast. So whilst I give you a moment or two to come on, I'll turn off my notifications so that we don't hear a noise all the way through our time together, because it's precious on a Tuesday. Every Tuesday I am here live for half an hour at 1:30. There are some Tuesdays I miss, but I always let you know, so you can rely on me to be here 1:30 on a Tuesday to spend a little bit of time, 30 minutes max, to have a discussion with you. So let me know, say hello as you are joining. And I'll have a look at the comments here. Hello. Oh gosh, it's really good to see you. Hello. That is wonderful. So by typing hello into the comments, we make sure that you continue to see these videos. And if you're watching on replay, if you could type in #replay, we will make sure of the same thing as well. So today I am going to be talking about how professionals in the blue light sector feel. Now, it might be that those professionals are a review participant or working in the sector and wanting to upskill to become a reviewer, which is something many of us, I certainly did, and many of us do. So there's some commonality about how all professionals in the blue light sector feel, and that the way we feel, of course, affects us in how we show up in our professional lives, and as a spokesperson for what we do externally, and of course in reviews. So it's pretty wide. It's not just about the world of reviews, but the way we feel is absolutely affected intrinsically by how the public perceive us, how the media speak about us, and of course public perception really does matter, because it's going to influence how we respond as vital services. So the way we feel affects how we respond, and it's not only just the hard measure of how we'll respond as a service, it's also, of course, all the softer inputs that we as blue light professionals add to society. So we are advocates for social justice. We can improve the well-being of individuals and communities. And if you think about the sectors that we're in, you know, we protect children. We are instrumental in how mental health services look. We support older people. We support public health. You know, we educate and support children and young people. And, you know, the way we come across in the media in particular depends on the current narrative. You know, we're subject to what the current narrative is. You know, during the pandemic, it really did suit the media to suggest to the public that they clap for the NHS. And then you can contrast that in the way that, the strikes, for instance, the strike action that's happened in the public sector has been portrayed by the media and the wording used when that's being described. So it's not always something that we can rely on to be a certain way either. It's really different compared, you know, just based on what the decision is about, what the narrative should be at the time. So we've got that uncertainty as well about how we're going to be perceived. Particularly when something tragic happens, we are quite accustomed to seeing frontline workers, leaders, facing criticism, humiliation, negative portrayal, even in a very personalised way. And there is usually a lack of recognition in that portrayal of us that we work in highly complex systems. So that complexity isn't included in there, and what we're able to achieve relies on a multitude of other factors, and it's not solely the action of one worker that can create influence that would prevent a tragedy. A lot of it is based on stereotype, and I have done work on stereotypes before. I've got free trainings available as well as within my paid program, but it's probably too much for me to go into stereotypes for now. But you will know about the stereotypes that apply to your own particular profession. And there's all of this background going on for us as professionals. And I feel like there are steps, there's longer term work, there's a kind of a resolution process that I have in my mind, and it has 3 steps to it that for me, they're the only way that we could positively influence that. For one, I think that more of us could take responsibility to be the spokesperson, to speak about not only those complexities that I've spoken about in the system, but also about emphasising the positive work that our profession does. It's probably not as sensationalised for the media, but it needs to be out there to balance up the tragedy. And some of that can help dispel the stereotypes and the misconceptions. I don't know how this is landing with you. Is this what you also see? I think so my second step in my 3-step resolution for this is that if reviews, and we as advocates, not only within reviews, but outside of the review as well, focused our attention on supporting the skillfulness of the front line, driving up the recruitment and supporting those recruitment initiatives, increasing the focus on the need for resources to be channeled in areas where they have been neglected, improving workloads, caseloads, supervision. If our analysis in reviews and everywhere that we're providing analysis and where we're being asked for opinions and insights, we were to focus in that way, we could really play a role here, in my opinion. I mean, reviews are a place for professionals to come along and work together to create this kind of environment. So that brings me on to point 3 of my 3-step resolution process for this, and that is collaboration. So instead of seeing ourselves in the singular as a social worker, a nurse or a police officer, for instance, which of course is important for our own professional identity, we could also see ourselves collectively. And if we did that more often, if we had that space with our stakeholders to support each other and to understand each other's challenges, and that we have the same aim, I think that is part of where the power comes from to kind of work towards reversing some of that. So we've each been developed by our own professional backgrounds to feel a certain way, but when we collaborate, we can see that in other professionals across our network, and it's important for us to see. So it dispels our own stereotype about the agency that we're sending referrals to every week, yet we don't know so much about their challenges and pressures. So why does it matter? It matters to us, of course, but why does it matter to the wider community? I think there's the obvious one in terms of how well we're going to respond to things, because we're affected by how we're perceived. But secondly, if we're going to be able to really drive up the positive work, the social justice and the improvement of well-being, etc., we need to increase our profile that we do that. So yeah, I feel like there's two really fundamental aims there. And I've supported over 100 public sector professionals to become independent reviewers, and I offered a live webinar last week. Over 500 people signed up to that, which was just absolutely, well, it just delighted me. And we're going to post a copy of the recording into the comments now, if it's something that you haven't yet had a chance to catch up on. And it's going to help you if you're upskilling in your current role, if you are beginning a second career, or if you are thinking that reviews might be part of your portfolio of independent work or your retirement plan. And there's going to be questions, of course, flying around for you. Hopefully we're going to see a link there in the comments if you want to watch that replay. It's a limited time replay. And inside that replay, there is an offer to save money on SILP training. Thank you, Steph. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. So if it's something that you're interested in, my suggestion to you is to do two things. One, there's a link there to watch the replay, but there's going to be another link, and Kelly, you might need to help us by typing into the comments which link is which. We want a link that tells people that's the replay. I think I've done this differently to what I first suggested to you, Kelly, for which I apologise. And a link for the eligibility assessment. Let me tell you about the eligibility assessment. So we are experts in helping you to know whether it's the next right step for you if you want to train with us. So we don't want you to be incorrectly placed. And I think the way that we prove that is that our training has 100% pass result. So yeah, we make sure that you're not incorrectly placed. We make sure that you're going to be able to succeed in that, because we don't want you to be there. We don't want you to make that investment if it's not right for you. So you've got the replay link there. If you just want us to do your assessment and you take time to watch the replay later, we will also do your eligibility assessment straight away for you, so you know. So you've got a couple of things that you could do there. If you want to kind of just tap into the energy of people who are thinking of taking this move, I shared in my most vulnerable way about what happened and all the emotions that were flying around and the way everything unfolded, because it was a really poignant time and a place that I was in on my journey when I did make that transition. So yeah, there's lots of sharing in there, and also it's a good watch if it's something that you think about for your future. You know, you're not wanting to change post, but you might want to upskill whilst you're in your post. So yeah, I hope that all of that is helpful to you, and I hope you understand why I think it's important that we work in various ways towards my 3-step plan to resolve the way that we're perceived out there. It's really important. It's important to us, and it's important to people who we can give benefit to by what we do. So that was today's Tuesday takeaway. I am here again next week if you are free to join me. Have a look at the links that we've posted, and I would love to hear from you. So have a great week. Thank you.